Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For Pause in a Book. I make book and lifestyle related content, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscription box down below. Today we're going to talk about all the books that I've read so far in the month of August. So we're having a very overcast day, and so because of that, I feel like I'm getting very washed out in my lighting. There's only so much that I can do. Sorry. Normally my lighting is great in this location, but today for some reason it wants to wash me out. Okay, anyway, we're going to talk about some books. I've actually had a pretty good reading month so far in the month of August. Have they been my TBR books? No, they have not. See, here's the thing. The boss battle started for the Avengers and you had to read red books. And my books weren't red. So, I have read 2 of the 7 that were on my categories TBR. If you want to check those out, I will link that up in the cards above. So, I read 2. Now, with my mid-month wrap-ups, I do not do stats. I don't talk about page counts, things like that. I just talk about the books in the order that I have read them, and that way I don't have to talk about them as much in depth at my end of month wrap up. So I've read 6 books, which is great. So let's get started. The first book was a carryover from the month of July. That is the previous month. Yep, there we go. And that is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Six of Crows Duology. King of Scars, that's the next one. So anyways, Crooked Kingdom is the second book in the Six of Crows Duology. It follows the events after Six of Crows. It has the same group of characters. We've still got Kaz and Inej and Nina and everyone that I love. And here's the thing. I gave this 5 stars. I loved it. I love this group of people. Did not break me in the way that I thought it was going to break me, though. So there is that. I thought I was going to cry at the end of this book. I thought that, I knew things were going to happen, but they weren't what I thought they were going to be. Let's just put it that way. So it did not break me. I gave it 5 stars. I still loved it. I would like to carry on. I actually did just purchase the Shadow and Bone trilogy because I think I had King of Scars originally on my TBR, but I think I'm actually going to go back and read Shadow and Bone and those 3 now, which means I have to do some finagling with my categories TBR. But I think that's what I'm going to do because I think King of Scars has some of Shadow and Bone in it too, so I don't, I'm just trying to postpone the inevitable of ending this world. That's what I'm doing. Okay, gave it 5 stars. I loved it. Then I finished Paper Girls Volume 2 by Brian K. Vaughan. This is a sci-fi graphic novel that takes place partially in the 80s, although Volume 2 tends to time jump. Or, whatever. I don't know. This graphic novel series is so weird, and I'm here for it. I gave this one 4 stars. I am so intrigued by this series, this storyline, this plot. The characters are so funny. It gives me such Stranger Things vibes, and I love that show. And so this is just nurturing that need of wanting more Stranger Things until the next season comes out. Let's be honest. So if you are a fan of Stranger Things, I definitely think that you will like this. And yeah, it's weird, but I'm here for it. Then I finished the group book for the month of August for the Avengers, and that was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This is a reread for me. I actually read it back in April, and so I was able to read this one really fast this time, but I got just as much from it the second time around. I remembered a lot. I am really bad with reading comprehension, especially months down the road, but I remembered plot points in this. So first off, I was in a weird headspace in April, a terrible headspace in April, and that I still retained that much information and still really enjoyed this book the second time around. This book is one of those ones I'm hesitant to recommend it to a lot of people because it definitely deals with some very hard topics. I mean, the book starts out with her trying to commit suicide. And then basically going into this midnight library between life and death, where she can actually explore other lives of hers had she made different decisions. Really, really interesting book, a really interesting concept, kind of the same premise as Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, but I think that this one does it a whole lot better and also deals with mental health. Now, there's a lot of conversation in the Discord group about this book, about chronic depression versus situational depression, and the thing is that I don't think that this is a bad representation of depression. I think that depression is very personal to people. I think that it's very unique, and one person's response to it and one person's what am I trying to say? One person's experience of depression is going to be really different than another person's. And so this is Own Voices for Matt Haig. This was his experience of depression, obviously not the Midnight Library part of it. But he does deal with depression, and he has talked about that. And that was kind of an inspiration for this book. So I don't want to discredit someone's experience and what they go through just because it's not the same as what someone else has gone through. So I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 stars once again. Then the boss battle started, and I wanted something kind of quick because you get points based on the pages that you've read, and you get bonus points because I'm on Team Iron Man if the book is read. So I decided to pick up The Witch Doesn't Burn, and this one by Amanda Lovelace. Very easy, very quick read, and very read book. Unfortunately, you don't get more points based on how much red is on the cover. You just get bonus if it's primarily red. This is primarily red. I mean, even the words are red. So anyways, I read this for a second time. I read this back in 2018, A, when I was a baby booktuber, and B, when I was in a very different headspace. And so seeing this a second time around, when I'm in a very different place in my life, I'm not as angry as I was back then. I still see the benefit of this book. I still see where Amanda Lovelace was coming from. I still gave this 5 stars because it's still a very strong piece of work. I just didn't resonate with it as much this time around. So still 5 stars though, because I'm not gonna discredit someone else's experience, and this book is powerful. And I highly recommend that you pick it up. Be in a good headspace. There's a whole list of trigger warnings on the front page. So it deals with a lot of heavy topics, but this is powerful, and everyone should read it. I finally started Cassandra Clare's long list of works and read Clockwork Angel. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices, and I gave this book 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. This was really fun. It gave me very Lucifer vibes, so if you're really into that show and you're kind of pining for that next season, that final season, you pick this up. It's got a lot of battles between angels and demons, and just a struggling, troubled main character that doesn't feel like he deserves love. So really, really enjoyed this. I think that its detriment was that I started this book on the heels of Crooked Kingdom, and I'm just so obsessed with that series that my obsession level can only take so much. So really enjoy this, and I'm excited to pick up Clockwork Prince, that I'll probably start next month. Christine and I are buddy reading these. I just have to actually finish books on my TBR. This one was on my TBR. Clockwork Prince is not, so that's okay. I'm really happy that I finally started it. I don't know when I will go back and read Mortal Instruments, or if I will skip them altogether and just read a Cliff's Notes version of it and just kind of continue on with the newer stuff. Okay, and unfortunately I have to end this completed videos so far for the month on a very low note, and that is Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Nouvelle. I'm giving this 2 stars. This was so boring. This book, this tiny little 300-page book, took me all week to read, and it was a struggle getting through it, like it shouldn't have been, because it's all interviews. This should have been super quick, super easy to read, and I just couldn't get through it. Now, a lot of the reviews that I see on Goodreads, when they're saying that they love it, really had to do with the audiobook, and I wasn't able to get a copy of the audiobook, so I had to read this physically. I think that's probably what hampered my enjoyment. I could see how this would be better in an audiobook. So it definitely has a Curse of the Daisy Jones and the Six. But regardless, first off, this book is just the movie premise of Arrival, which is that book or that movie where the aliens come in and they're just trying to like, to figure out their language and things like that. That's what this is. It was just boring. Like, I was so bored. Plus, every single person that they interviewed, or like 90% of the people that they interviewed, were military, and so it just kind of like came off as very pro-military. And I didn't get it. I didn't get this book. I don't get the hype. I'm sorry. Those are the books that I have read so far in the month of August. I am working on 2 books. I am working on Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Is that book on my TBR? No, it is not. But I did want to read it. I've been wanting to read it for a really long time. It's for a secret TBR project, so it's on a TBR. It's just not on my like categories TBR. And then I actually swapped out the Archive of the Forgotten for All the Feels by Olivia Dade, because this is also going to be a 5-star prediction for me. And I have so much fantasy and sci-fi on my TBR that I wanted some more like romance, and I needed a palate cleanser. So I actually just started this one this morning. Haven't gotten very far into it, like chapter 1, and already I'm kind of loving it. It takes place in the same world as Spoiler Alert. So really excited to continue on that one. And then Boyfriend Material, I'm actually really enjoying. This is essentially Sam Bucky. That's what it is. But with a son of a disgraced rock star, pop star, whatever, and so he's trying to like fix his image, and so he starts dating this like posh lawyer, so that the paparazzi will see him as a grown-up rather than a man-child, essentially. Really enjoying that one. I was trying to get that one finished before this and didn't quite get to it, so that's okay. I will definitely have it finished up by this evening. I've got like 2 hours left of the audiobook, so should be good. Really enjoying it. My only like qualm with it is that it has a very extended conversation scene about Harry Potter. And I understand like this book was written or is published in 2020, which means it was written in 2019 before a lot of the stuff about J.K. Rowling came out. So like I can forgive it, but it was just like a very long conversation here. It's just like, oh my god, this scene is not necessary. Other than that, though, I'm having a really good time with it. That is all I have for you right now. Let me know what your favorite book of the month so far has been. And if you're not feeling chatty, go ahead and put a rain cloud emoji, because we've got a very overcast, what feels like it's going to rain kind of day. So, although it could be smoke, let's be honest. Anyways, if you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video. And all of the other links to my social media will be in the description below if you would like to be my friend on any other platform. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.